civil society groups, which include legal practitioners, scientists, and academies, among others, are calling on the government of Nigeria to halt plans to introduce genetically modified potatoes and ban GMOs, as it is a violation of human rights and a disaster for the Nigerian food system. According to the Executive Director of Health of Mother Earth, Mnimmo Bassey, any further release of GMOs in Nigeria would jeopardize the health and degrade the environment. Potatoes are also banned in Peru and spawned in developed countries earlier this year. The Nigerian government officially launched the genetically modified, high-yielding maize varieties in the country amidst a worsening food insecurity. However, many farmers are still resisting, preferring their seeds. Well, joining us now very quickly to discuss this, I do have with me a food sovereignty advocate and public health scientist, Joyce Brown. Joyce, welcome, and thanks for being here with us on News Now.
It's my pleasure to be here.
Great. Now, what are the key reasons cited for the call to ban GMO imports in Nigeria, and how do they reflect the concerns of the general public?
Thank you very much for that question. There are a number of reasons why Nigeria should actually ban GMOs. And talking about the public perception, the approval for teller maize particularly raised a lot of issues, raised a lot of dust, had so many people speaking out against GMOs and for a preservation of the Nigerian food system. And some of the reasons cited are with respect to contamination of Nigeria's genetic resources. We will have our seeds contaminated because these genetically, these genes, these newly introduced genes are able to move from one plant to another, of course, due to pollination, which can be by insects, by wind, or even water, right? So that's one issue, the contamination of our own indigenous seed varieties over time. Another is an economic implication, whereby with most of the GMOs, productivity reduces over time. So after the first planting season, farmers would record reduced yields. So there was recently a report that was published where, because the BT cotton was introduced based on or with the argument that they wanted to revive the Nigerian cotton industry, but farmers have come out to say that after how many years of planting this cotton, of course, the cotton industry is not revived, is even worse off. Productivity is reduced. And so the farmers are saying they want to discontinue with the cotton. And when that cotton was approved, HOMEF and a number of other organizations did kick against it. There were several objections that were sent because the same cotton was introduced in Burkina Faso, where it failed and farmers rejected it. So there is an economic implication where productivity will reduce, and to solve that, farmers are advised to go to buy new seeds each planting season. And we know that will not mean well for our farmers. It's more like we are giving over control of our seeds, over control of our food system to these corporations. Then there are the environmental implications, where some of the processes of producing these GMOs, some of the antibiotic markers that are used, some of the processes actually cause harm to soil microorganisms. So in that report I cited, where cotton farmers were speaking up against the GM cotton, they also said that the soil has become less fertile. So after planting that cotton and you want to plant other crops on that farmland, the soil does not perform well. The soil is less reproductive. That because the microbial life, the microbes in the soil, the beneficial microbes have been destroyed. And also on that, there are crops that are made to be herbicide tolerant. Right, so we have the crops that are designed to themselves act as pesticides, where the gene from bacteria is introduced into these crops. For example, the beans we have now in Nigeria, the BT cotton I've been talking about, have this gene introduced in them to produce a particular toxin that should kill off insects when they try to attack them. But then there are the others that are made to be herbicide tolerant, such that you plant them on a particular field, everything else can die off except the crop that is genetically modified to be resistant to it. And these chemicals there are thousands of cases in the USA, for example, where this chemical has been shown to cause cancer, and the courts have, decreed that the companies responsible, the companies producing them, pay lots of money, thousands of dollars, or millions of dollars rather, to these people that are affected in form of damages. And these chemicals, of course, are in Nigeria. And the active ingredients in the chemical is actually glyphosate, which is in not just the one they call Roundup or the ones they call glyphosate. Glyphosate is seen in so many other pesticide brands that are all over the markets in Nigeria, right? So we find that instead of reducing the use of herbicides, like some promoters of GMOs say, GMOs actually increase the use of these herbicides, and these have environmental implications. They would destroy the beneficial microorganisms. They would affect the population of bees, and of course, they can end up contaminating even drinking water sources. So there are a whole lot of reasons why Nigeria should not, continue on this path for GMOs.
All right. I want to say thank you so much to Joyce Brown for joining us, food sovereignty advocate and public health scientist. We look forward to see where this would lead to, especially looking at the fact that a lot of persons are talking against the use of GMOs.